Welcome back to the RPGMaker MV tutorial series level 2. So, we've created our maps, we've made our start scene, let's do a quick ending and then we can move on to filling out our game. Let's get into it. Alright, here we are back in our game, now relabeled Avalonia. We've set up our start scene and this is where our player will be, but now let's make an ending scene. At the moment it's totally blank. So let's just work out where we're going to get here from, and that will be the floating temple. Let's set up a new event at the floating temple. We'll call it the Fairy Queen, for want of anything better. We'll set an image, and we had some nature images. There we go, that's a lovely looking Fairy Queen. We can now put in something along the lines of, "You have saved me." Fantastic. After she says that, we can then transfer the player to the end scene, plop them in the middle, and we're going to fade, let's fade to white, just for a change. That means that we'll now end up on the end scene. We need an event on the end scene. It has to auto run. That can be the end scene. Now if you recall, we need to set the player to transparent. We figured that out in the start scene. And now we run the credits effectively. In our sample game, 15 minutes, we put something like, "You've saved the Fairy Queen in the world, what a hero," credits. Okay, and then the last thing that we had to do in that series was just to return to the title screen. So click OK and apply, and we can now test our ending. We'll set the starting position right at the end, and we'll hit play test. So here we go, save our changes. Save me. Fades to white. Save the Fairy Queen in the world. What a hero. The end. Well done. We've now finished our game. Obviously there are a few more things that we can do to improve this. One of the things that we might do is work on some sound for the floating temple map. So we'll just click on here, press space, floating temple. Let's put some background music. I decided that this would be some nice background music, a bit ethereal, ship 1. We can also play some background sound. That gives you a sound, the river, and the volume lowered gives you some background sound, just like a waterfall falling out of the sky, which is kind of correlating with this floating temple and its waterfall there. So I thought that might be nice. In the Hall of Transference, we could also add some sound here, so same again, click here. I thought maybe we can just set up some darkness. Volume's lowered, pitch is up, gives it a bit of a creepy effect. We won't put any background sound there, but what we might do is put in a parallax background. Now there is dark space. Instead of having just blackness, click OK. Now you can see show in the editor. Alright, I click OK. Can't see anything. What's going on here? Let's have a look. If I set my starting position of my player, press play, yes. Okay, I still can't see the background. Why is that? Well, these tiles are actually set to black. They're not transparent. Easy way to fix that. F5, copy a transparent tile by right clicking it, go back here and make sure we're in F5 mapping, and we'll click on the fill tool and we can fill that with transparent, and immediately we can see the background there. If I just switch that background off so you can see what I mean. None. Click OK. Okay, that's just transparent. So if I change that back to this interesting dark space, there we are. A couple more finishing touches. We might, for example, change the Fairy Queen. We'll just press F6 to go back into event mode, double click on her, and we can give her a face. So she's a nature, there we are. Excellent. And we might give the end scene a background. Parallax background. We can just synchronize it with the start scene, which, if you recall, had the mountains there. One last thing we might like to do is to add in a credits. A bit more developed, so we've just copied and pasted some information, and here we have slightly longer rolling. We said N1, who is, if you recall, the name of Actor 1, that's you, and allies, free the Queen and restored peace, everyone lived happily ever after. See you in the next chapter. Credits, development team, theme music, character artwork, map artwork, sound effects, visual effects, software, etc., etc. And so you might like to add something along those lines, and then it feels a little bit more like a fleshed out credits scene. So let's just test that one more time. Let's say that we start here, and this is where we are just about to end our game. So the starting position of the player here. Play from there. There's no sound on this one. And we come here. Slightly creepy background noise. Perhaps some other stuff happens here. Talk to the Fairy Queen. Lovely image. Fades to our hero, which is the default name of the character that I've set up. Would be your name. Credits, scene music, visual effects software. Roll through the credits, and back to the beginning. And that is our ending scene. And we can now move on to the next part of our series. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider smashing those like and subscribe buttons, as they do help with the algorithm. Now it's your turn to go make a game. See you in the next one.